the best of you if you let. Well, it's that West Side nigga from K-Town, always gonna
about to pull up at the Green Bay Correctional Institution in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Historic prison. The second oldest prison in the state of Wisconsin. About to go in here and give a presentation to incarcerated men and meet with the director of the Wisconsin Innocence Project from the Wisconsin Law School. Everyone knows about my case, being wrongly convicted, having spent 15 years in this state. And so I've been blessed and fortunate to come back to the state and come into these prisons and speak to the men about some of the challenges of being free and what is necessary for them to do in order to get out the penitentiary and stay out the penitentiary. You know, and we pulling up now. Well, I'm pulling up at Green Bay Correctional Institution, as you can see. It is what it is. It's a real life prison. You know, ain't no cameras and all that kind of stuff really allowed on the property without permission. I'm outside the gates. Definitely won't be able to take this inside. Well, I'm set to give a presentation here this morning. That's your entry to the prison right there where I'm going to speak at. This is one of the cell blocks right here. And find me a parking spot. Get ready to go in here and give my presentation to these men. These brothers incarcerated doing time. Some of them doing life. 50 years, 100 years, 10 years, 5 years. You know, one of the reasons I do this work is because, not only because I spent so much time inside this system, but because so very few men really knows what it takes to get out the penitentiary and stay out. And the problem with that is that we suffer from so many psychoses growing up in Black America, in American civilization, American culture for that matter. We suffer from so many different psychoses that it makes it difficult for a young black man, once he gets caught up in the system, psychologically, culturally, mentally, intellectually, educationally, socially, to navigate his way out of this system. And it was very complex because inside here is a whole nother world, a whole nother culture, a whole nother life, a whole nother realm, a whole nother everything. And a lot of people get caught up in the system and lose themselves in the system. I was fortunate to maintain my sanity, having served 15 years in the system, and to be able to come out and do the work that I do and be able to come back with a powerful message to these men about what they can do while here, similar to what I did while I was here, get the mind right, the heart right, and the soul right, in order to navigate their way out of here and to get out and stay out. So that's why I'm here. This is my second time at this facility. And you know, I'm grateful, like I said, to be able to come in this system. I'd like to thank Asher Family Services for facilitating this for me. And one of the persons here that works in the school here, Virginia, she's been an extraordinary help to me in opening the doors and, you know, really receiving my message and making sure I get approved to come back in this facility. So we here, you know, and I'm about to go in here with a powerful message to these brothers. You know, I'll check back with you when I come out. Hakim, spoken flow poet. One. So I'm just now leaving the prison. You can see behind me the prison wall. Green Bay Correctional Institution. Get ready to jump on this E-way. Make my way back home. Spoke to a vibrant group of men in a program called Challenges and Possibilities program. And the men were very attentive. I spoke about a wide variety of subject matters pertinent to their development while in prison. And to summarize what I had basically dealt with them on was I wanted them to understand that they had to take responsibility of their incarceration into their own hands. Because a lot of times, and the reason why the recidivism rate is so high, well, there's a lot of reasons for that. But what I want to focus on with them is for them not to get complacent with being incarcerated. I think nowadays it's so rare for people inside correctional institutions to be reached in such a positive and powerful way that I know I'm capable of doing, and I've been very effective at it. And it's not to brag anything of that nature. It's that I understand exactly what these men incarcerated need, because I've been there, and I know what messages they need to hear, what reinforcements they need to hear to positively uplift them, motivate them, and really steer them in a direction that is essential and necessary. And we had a long talk, about an hour and a half, and then we had questionnaire time, and I really laid it in on them. One of the things I like to drive home in particular is that, in all actuality, as much as we would like to see our young men, and even our elderly men inside institutions come home, I mean, the reality is that many of them don't need to come home, because many of them ain't ready to come home. We don't need them in our community, and I can say that about myself. If I wasn't ready to come home when I was in the institution, then I was one of those ones that I would be speaking to. A lot of men just don't need to come home because they ain't gonna do nothing but rob, rape, pillage, and destroy our community like they've been doing before when they went there in the beginning. And so I told them today, point blank period, I said, I'm gonna say something that a lot of y'all may not like, and it may pinch a nerve. I said, but I don't care, because I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I said, point blank period, a lot of y'all don't need to come home, and I don't want to see y'all home. I told them I don't understand the mentality of racing to get out the penitentiary to come right back. You know what I mean? So it's like you racing to come right back to the penitentiary. What you racing and competing with each other for to get out the penitentiary just to come right back? And that's how a lot of people function. That's why the recidivism rate is so high, because unfortunately a lot of us don't understand what it takes to really be prepared to go home. And a lot of men just don't understand that. They think that, I'm locked up, I can't wait to get home, but they don't even do the necessary things it takes in order to get home and stay home. And it takes a lot of rebuilding, of heart, mind, body, and soul. It takes a real serious investment in oneself to even be adequately prepared to step foot outside them prison bars and rejoin our community, especially in the African American community, where we need our men back home with our children. And a lot of men is coming home for nothing, really, coming home just to return right back to the penitentiary. So we had a nice positive talk today. I shared with them a lot of the work I've been out here doing, and I took a collage of photos and showed them, all the stuff and all the people and the celebrities that I've met, you know what I'm saying, and all the places I've been, and showed them, you can succeed out here, what it's going to really take what you do right now while you locked up, it's really going to make a difference, and it's really going to equip you to be prepared to return. I think one of the most important things that came out of this today was my lunch meeting with Byron of the Wisconsin Innocence Project, who has gave me positive confirmations of them getting involved with my own case. For those, most people know that I was wrongly convicted of a homicide in the city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1991, and I served 15 years of a 45-year sentence for a crime I had no part in whatsoever. And I won my freedom, fortunately, with the help of a lot of people, a lot of community activists, thanks to Reuben Hurricane Carter's organization and passing my case along to the Wisconsin Innocence Project. And it just took a lot, and for Lenara Wells to really look at my case and look at me, and grant me a parole. But that, in itself was great for me and for my mother, who fought so hard for me to get home. That in itself was not the end of my struggle, the end of my battle. The end of my struggle and my battle is to get my conviction overturned. And to get me discharged from this sentence that I'm still under. And so it was a very positive day up here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm on the E-way, headed back to Michigan right now. And you know, I enjoy this work that I do, working with at-risk youth and incarcerated men and post-incarcerated men and students, you know, and with the community. There's a lot to be accomplished, and I think that my experience has equipped me in such a way to be a contributing factor in a very pivotal factor in our community. And I'm thankful that I'm able to recognize that I do have a role out here in our community, and there's nothing stopping me from working on that, you know, from continuing to explore that and to work for our community, you know. So grateful for being able to work with Happy, with One Love Global, you know, several other people I've been networking with over the years. So we're gonna try to keep it positive and keep working on this positive message that I've been sending to these incarcerated men, to students all around this country. You know, I don't limit my scope by no means and measure. You know, so keep it moving. Shout out to those brothers back in Green Bay Correctional Institution, to Virginia and Vanden Braden for receiving me, you know, with open arms, and they was ecstatic with the message. So I want to thank them, you know, because they always open the doors to me and give me a nice platform to come in and work with these men, and very positive. So I'm proud of what I accomplished today, and the work ain't over. We got to keep going. The work ain't over, you know, so keep it moving.
Yo, I see.
There was a burning sensation in my mind. Time after time, I felt the urge to escape. Flee inside my heart and reap the fruits of my word. Castigating blame for my homies' lost souls. Wiping the tears from my mother's face. We cried in silence. We let the streets blaze in noise and poetic rage, fighting to flee that prison cage.